All right, so let's set up the totals next. And first, of course, I'm going to jump to that component. And as far as the imports, we have React, we have styled components, we have use cart context because I would want to grab the total amount and the shipping fee from my context. And remember, since we passed in the whole state, we should have access to that. Then there's also going to be a user context, and I'm going to cover that once we get there. Don't worry about it. And in here we have format price because, of course, remember that since we have everything in sense, we would want to format the price as well. And then, of course, there is a link component because if we take a look at the complete project, either this is going to direct us to a login if we haven't logged in, or we have option to go to the checkout if, of course, we have already logged in. So I'll start with my return where I'm going to set up my wrapper. And as far as the totals, we're just going to set up our div. And let me go back here. So let's set up the div. Now it's not going to have a class. It's just going to have a article. So let's set up our article over here. And then instead of the article, let's go with a heading 5. And we'll just type subtotal. So some kind of text. And then inside of the span, I would want to format the price. So let's set up our expression, format price, and then, of course, we'll pass in the total amount. Now, before I do that, of course, I would need to get it from use cart context, so const, and then total amount, and the shipping fee. So those are the two things that we're looking for, and use cart context, and then, of course, we invoke it. So now in the total price, I'll pass in total amount, which, of course, at the moment, will be 0. So don't freak out. Of course, eventually we will set up the functionality where we count how many items we have in the cart, and then we can nicely display, well, what is the total amount of items. And then we'll set up the paragraph, pretty much the same structure. We'll have some kind of text. And then we'll set up the span where we have our expression, format price. And then in this case, of course, we're passing in the shipping fee. We save it, and then right after the paragraph, there's going to be a horizontal line like so. So we save that one as well, and then we have a heading 4 with order total. So we go with order total. Again, the same thing. We just go with span, and then we format the price. So format price, and in this case, I would want to pass in the total amount plus the shipping fee. So both of them. Let's add this one. And now, of course, there's going to be a order total. And then lastly, right next to the article, but still within a div, I'm going to set up a link for the time being back to the checkout page. So we'll say here link to, and then we need to provide a value. So checkout like so. We'll add a class name of BTN. And as far as the text, let's just write proceed to checkout. Okay, beautiful. We save it and we should have the link. That should do it for cart totals. And now let's deal with the big beast with a cart item.